My fellow Americans, I'm joining you today from the deck of what will be our nation's newest aircraft carrier, the soon-to-be commissioned Gerald R. Ford. And as you can see, I'm wearing a jacket and a hat that they just gave me. Not really used to it, but it feels awfully good. I'm very proud of it, actually. Our carriers are the centerpiece of American military might, projecting power and our totally unparalleled strength at sea. This beautiful new warship represents the future of naval aviation, and she will serve as a cornerstone of our national defense for decades and decades to come. A famous aviator once wrote that to build a truly great ship, we shouldn't begin by gathering wood, cutting boards, or distributing work, but instead by awakening within the people a desire for the vast and endless sea. So true. In the same way, we must continue to renew the American spirit in order to rebuild our country, and rebuild it we will. On Tuesday, before a joint session to Congress, I laid out a version, I hope you all watched, for how to accomplish that national rebuilding. My vision includes the elimination of the defense sequester, which has imposed steep cuts on our military. We must give our sailors, soldiers, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen the tools, equipment, resources, and training they need to get the job done and get it done right, especially in these very dangerous times. The active duty Army has been reduced by more than 85,000 men since 2009, and we have over 18,000 fewer active duty Marines. Air Force, it's the smallest it's been since 1947, and their planes are, on average, nearly 30 years old, if you can believe that. Our Navy's fleet is the smallest it's been since World War I, and that's a long time ago. Frontline Navy and Marine strike fighter aircraft are more likely to be down for maintenance than to be in the sky. We cannot afford to continue down this path. My budget will give America's armed forces the resources they need to achieve full and total military preparedness to meet any and all global challenges, and meet them we will. Investing in the military means investing in peace, because the best way to prevent war, as George Washington said, is to be prepared for it. Most importantly, an investment in the military is an investment in the incredible men and women who serve our country in uniform. They are the best of us. They are the greatest force for peace and justice the world has ever known, and we will support them every single step of the way. These are truly exciting times. Amazing opportunities are unfolding before us to strengthen our military, to reboot our economy, and to bring back our jobs. If we all work together and put our country first, then anything is possible. Let us seize this moment and make the most of this incredible opportunity for national renewal. May God bless the men and women of our military, and may God bless the United States of America, the country we love. Of our military might, we will give the men and women of America's armed services the resources you need to keep us safe. We will have the finest equipment in the world, planes, ships, and everything else. We are going to have, very soon, the finest equipment in the world. We will give our military the tools you need to prevent war and, if required, to fight war and only do one thing. You know what that is? Win. Win. We're going to start winning again. Admiral John Richardson, Chief of Naval Operations, is with us today as well. Great gentleman. Admiral, we're going to ensure our Navy has the resources, personnel, training, and equipment the kind of equipment that you need. So congratulations, Admiral, and a lot more is coming. Let me congratulate Captain Richard McCormick, Commanding Officer of the Gerald R. Ford. This ship will make an extraordinary addition to the fleet, like no other. Anywhere in the world, there's nothing like this. It represents the future of naval aviation. I have no greater privilege than to serve as your Commander-in-Chief and the Commander-in-Chief of the men and women of the United States military. Great people. Great people. I salute you, and I salute our sailors. I will always support you and your mission. I will never, ever let you down. And I also have to recognize Mike Petters, President and CEO of Huntington Ingalls Industries, along with Matt Mulheron, President of Newport News Shipbuilding. They won't let you down either. They're not going to let you down either. To those who serve our nation in uniform, and to those who build the instruments of our defense, I thank you on behalf of our nation. I agree. Our carriers are the centerpiece of American military might overseas. We are standing today on 4.5 acres of combat power and sovereign U.S. territory, the likes of which there is nothing to compete. There is no competition to this ship. It is a monument to American might that will provide the strength necessary to ensure peace. This ship will carry 4,500 personnel and 70 aircraft and will be a vital component of our defense. This carrier and the new ships in the Ford class will expand the ability of our nation to carry out vital missions on the oceans to project American power in distant lands. Hopefully, it's power we don't have to use. But if we do, they're in big trouble. This great aircraft carrier provides essential capabilities to keep us safe from terrorism and take the fight to the enemy for many years in the future. The great Admiral Nimitz, who commanded the U.S. Pacific Fleet through the Second World War, once said, "It is the function of the Navy to carry the war to the enemy so that it will not be fought on U.S. soil." True. And it was under Admiral Nimitz's command 75 years ago this June that the Navy did just that. At the Battle of Midway, you've all known about the Battle of Midway, where the sailors of the U.S. Navy fought with a bravery that will be remembered throughout the ages. Storied bravery throughout the ages. The backbone of the American fleet at Midway was 3 beautiful aircraft carriers, the Yorktown, the Enterprise, and the Hornet. All 3 were built with American hands right here at the Newport News shipyard. At Midway, America was greatly outnumbered by, a lot. And its fleet badly damaged, but the heroic deeds changed the course of history. Many brave Americans died that day, and through their sacrifice, they turned the tide of the Pacific War. It was a tough tide. It was a big tide. It was a vicious tide, and they turned it. Countless other Americans in that war, some of them parents and grandparents to people in this room today, came home thanks to their very heroic deeds. The sailors at Midway are part of a long line of American heroes, an unbroken chain of patriots from each generation to the next, who rose to defend our flag and our freedom. That legacy continues today as American warriors protect our people from the threat of terrorism. On Tuesday, in my address to a joint session of Congress, I asked Congress to eliminate the defense sequester and to support my request for a great rebuilding of the United States military and the United States Navy. After years of endless budget cuts that have impaired our defenses, I am calling for one of the largest defense spending increases in history. And by eliminating the sequester and the uncertainty it creates, we will make it easier for the Navy to plan for the future and thus to control costs and get the best deals for the taxpayer, which, of course, is very important, right? Got to get a good deal. We don't make a good deal, we're not doing our job. The same boat for less money, the same ship for less money, the same airplanes for less money. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. It means we're going to get more of them, and we can use them. Our military requires sustained, stable funding to meet the growing needs placed in our defense. Right now, our aging frontline strike and strike fighters, the whole aircraft, many, many aircraft, are often more likely to be down for maintenance than they are to be up in the sky. Our Navy is now the smallest it's been since, believe it or not, World War I. Don't worry. Going to soon be the largest it's been. Don't worry. Think of that. Think of that. In these troubled times, our Navy is the smallest it's been since World War I. That's a long time ago. In fact, I just spoke with Navy and industry leaders and have discussed my plans to undertake a major expansion of our entire Navy fleet, including having the 12-carrier Navy we need. We also need more aircraft, modernized capabilities, and greater force levels. Additionally, we must vastly improve our cyber capabilities. This great rebuilding effort will create many jobs in Virginia and all across America, and it will also spur new technology and new innovation. America has always been the
Judge, did he make the right move?
Absolutely. I think that General Sessions had no choice but to recuse himself. I mean, the fact that the answer to the question, as he looks back on it now from Al Franken, which was, by the way, a hypothetical that he might have answered saying, I don't answer hypotheticals, but the answer kind of was a little within the context of Franken was asking him about the campaign, and Sessions was talking about, in his experience, as a surrogate for the campaign, he hadn't had any contact with the Russians. So he had to explain it. He should have explained it, and he didn't. I think he should have taken advantage of that time. But he did the right thing. And look, it's not like we don't know who the Attorney General is. Jeff Sessions has been a senator for many years.
And the first one to jump on the Trump train.
Yeah, but the point is, people know who he is. He's not this character who's we don't know anything about. He's known as a very honest individual, and he recused himself, which is exactly what he should have done.
What about the fact that some of the Democrats are saying he needs to resign because he committed perjury?
Oh, that's hogwash. First of all, you have to understand the perjury has to be something that is not only an answer that is not true, but that is intended to be not true. And it's clear from the question, the hypothetical question, and the way he answered it, that he wasn't trying to lie. He wasn't lying. testifying. He was answering it within the context of the question.
Judge, I want to change topics. We saw
Already?
the president give the successful speech in front of Congress, and because I want to make sure we have time to talk about this. I know you went out on the street and you talked to people to get their reaction. Bill Maher and you had Michael Moore, two liberals that were out there mocking the president for his speech and for honoring this lady who lost her husband a month ago, who was
Corinne
fighting
Owens.
for our country.
Right, right. You know, what is so shocking about what is going on with the Democrats, whether it is General Sessions or Corinne Owens, the wife of the Navy SEAL, is that they will use anything to go after Donald Trump. This woman is a strong, brave woman who has suffered in ways that none of us can ever comprehend. And for them to say she's being used, this poor woman, you know, it's a notch on Donald Trump's, on the president's belt, is disgusting.
Is that prompted
And
your theme?
That's why I went out on the street, and people agree.
Right.
I bet almost 90%.
Let's take a look.
What do you think of people like Bill Maher and Michael Moore saying she was used? Do you think she was used?
No, not at all. I think it's a disgrace that they would say those things. I think we should be proud of her husband, and I hope the Democrats and the rest of the Democratic Party start showing a little more respect.
Do you think that was right?
No, I don't. No, I don't think it was right. He's a Navy SEAL, and I think people should support our military.
She's a widow, and I think we should have compassion for her. Her husband lost her life fighting for our country. I think she deserves compassion and celebration of her husband's legacy.
Good sound bites on a very windy day in New York City.
Yeah, clearly, as you could see. But you know what? People were horrified by that comment and by them trying to take down the Navy SEAL's widow. It is, I think, what we're going to be seeing for the next 4 years.
How could Chris Matthews sit there and allow Michael Moore to say that and not say anything to him like that's out of bounds?
Well, not only that's out of bounds, but not be shocked and just go, you're kidding. I mean, for people not to react, even Chris Matthews, anybody, I think is very shameful.
Did you
and
find
it
anyone
shows
on
their
the street,
politics.
anyone on the street that agreed with Chris
I
Matthews
think
or
there may
Michael
have
Moore?
been one person who said, you know, well, Donald Trump is this. It was about Trump. It
Right,
wasn't
not
so much
about
about her. They don't care who they're going to victimize as long as they can trash that
Right.
person to go after President Trump.
All right, Judge, what time can we watch you on Saturday and Sunday?
You can watch me at 9 o'clock, and then again at midnight, and I'm after Jesse, and I'm before Greg, and we're like a block on
You are?
Saturday night.
All right, you got a little swagger to you.
Yeah.
Judge, we'll be tube side.
Okay.
I like that pose. You can watch.